Are you ready? Are you ready? Alright! Guys, hello. Christopher Aaron here. I'm in Florida right now, and I thought I would take you along with me. I'm spending a good chunk of the winter here. It is a super windy, cloudy day here. Not your typical Florida day. Something I like to do is to kind of get out into nature when not a whole lot of other people are around, kind of clear my head. You could say maybe this is something to do with the contrarian nature. I like to consider going where other people are not going. This is something, it's an outlook in life that I know you must share. To some extent, if you've arrived at this channel, you know what I'm talking about. You're willing to think about things that other people are not thinking about. That is how you've arrived at the precious metals. And there are other ways to do that. Sometimes it helps to come out where there are no other people or few other people, perhaps just with a dog. And anyway, I thought I would take you with us for this trip, this little adventure that we're on. Let's talk about the markets, let's talk about life, and then we'll turn to the charts in a moment. So let's talk about this for a second as we're out here. You know, if you know me, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know I'm slightly obsessed with the observation of patterns, especially patterns that appear in nature and in human nature. You know, we see these patterns appearing over and over again, whether we're talking about the shapes of the waves, or we're talking about the cycles of the seasons, for example. For that matter, human patterns. You know, what behaviors do we take day in and day out, year in and year out? Then, of course, we can apply this to the financial markets. There's another belief that I have, which is not just that everything moves in repeating patterns. It's that there actually is something happening here. Something is occurring which represents growth, and we're a part of that, and change and outward expansion, right? Because if everything was just moving in a circle, then there's not a whole lot of motivation to actually do anything. It feels like, to me, that everything is, as a net sum, everything is just moving back to where it came from. I actually like the idea better that when we look at the world around us, that there is growth occurring. And so this is why I am not a perma-bear, a doom and gloomer like most of the precious metals fans out there. I actually think that we as human beings, that we are part of something greater. And that this is occurring despite the attempts to hold us back, despite the actions of the Federal Reserve and the politicians and the war makers and the bailouts. Despite all of that waste, there is something greater happening here, and that we are a part of all of that together. It's not either or. It's not only bad things happening around us. It's not only good things. But perhaps, as a net sum, something is actually occurring here, which is a little bit exciting and a little bit motivating to want to participate in. So welcome back. We are back from the beach, and I'm in the traveling iGold studios right now from Florida. And this week I wanted to focus, we've looked at gold and silver closely over the last couple of weeks, and this week I wanted to focus specifically on gold and the gold miners. And I have some questions some people have written in and asked, will you focus on platinum and palladium again soon? And what about some of the other commodities? And what about Bitcoin? And I want to let you know that I am going to be expanding. We've done some of that over the last couple of months. However, at this exact moment in time, and I will show you why, this is the point of this video,
But at this exact moment in time, I strongly feel that the most significant opportunity that is immediate is in the gold miners. And that's why I'm focusing on this so much right now. I think there are, as we talked about on the beach, I think there are major opportunities setting up for over the next decade across many different commodities at different times. And so we will be expanding into some of those. Right now, though, and this will not always be the case, especially 3 to 6 months from now, but right now, this is the opportunity. I want to show you why. So let's look at, briefly here, spot gold over the last 3 days. This is really constructive price action. We continue to see this kind of grind. It's wearing people out. It's not catching a whole lot of attention. Let's be honest, guys. Who do you know? Step away from the YouTube community. Step away from the precious metals community and other online types of forums. Who do you know in the mainstream community, the mainstream world, and your normal everyday life who's talking about the price of gold right now? You know, if you go to a coffee shop, who do you meet there who is talking about the price of gold? Next to no one. Everyone is chasing the broad stock market. If you go out and you have a few drinks at night and you talk to someone about the price of gold or that you're investing in the gold mining sector, who is talking about that? Be honest with me. Let me know. Post a comment below because I'm really curious about this. I have to say, this type of grind that we've seen recently, and let's switch over to silver, this type of grind, but notice dip buyers are showing up here. Every time silver falls a little bit, we're seeing these dip buyers show up. So it's not attracting any sort of real attention, but we're seeing the dip buyers show up, and this sort of lack of attention at the stage that we're in right now is absolutely perfect, if you ask me. So let's take a look at this. And as you know, the point of this channel is to show you in the most clear way possible. Absolute clarity is what we are looking for here, so you can understand visually what is happening in this sector. Okay? Let's get away from some of the talk and actually look at it. So we are looking at this is the GDX fund, is an ETF, and it is representative of the sum of the large cap gold and silver miners. Heavily focused on gold. There is a little bit of silver exposure in there as well. These are the large caps. These are the most conservative companies. These are companies that are already producing gold for the most part at a profit. And we use this as a representation of what is happening across the entire sector. Now, everything you see here is going to have a color label to it. And just to describe what we're looking at here, this is the price of the GDX from the all-time high in 2011. This corresponded with $1,900 gold through the present. Up here, we are looking at a momentum indicator. This is called the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. This is a momentum indicator. We could spend an hour talking about this alone, but I just want to say, generally speaking, when you see momentum that is below this 30 level here on the chart, this represents unsustainable downward pressure, and you can see it tends to correspond with significant bottoms. Not always, though, because you can see, for example, here, when that same momentum indicator fell below 30, there were still 2.5 years left of decline to go. So no indicator is perfect. It's why I like to focus on price foremost, which is here in the middle. And here in the very bottom, we're looking at volume, okay? The number of shares that have been traded each week on the GDX in the millions here on the y-axis. So looking at this extremely clearly, the only thing that we have drawn in thus far are the silver lines here, Fibonacci retracement lines, okay? So look at what is happening here to the sum of the gold and silver mining complex. This is why I'm focused on this so much right now. If you just look at this, very clear black for horizontal resistance going all the way back to early 2013, right? And what is this resistance here that we're talking about at the 31 level? This is what we call stage 1 base resistance. What am I talking about? This is a level where you had multiple attempts. Look at this first attempt to break higher, right? On the decline. First attempt to break higher, rejected. Second attempt, rejected. Third attempt, rejected. Most recent attempt here, rejected once again. So this is what we call, when we see overall a market that's been moving sideways like this for almost 7 years now, making multiple attempts. This is an index that cannot go to zero. It had fallen by about 80% and is making these multiple attempts every couple of years to break out of what? This stage 1 base resistance. This is what we're talking about. A very clear level. There's no way that you cannot see that there is a level here right around 31 on the GDX, $31 per share, that is being respected very, very clearly by the market. And look at how this level, by the way, corresponds with the 38.2% Fibonacci level of the entire decline. So if we take the entire decline here as a net sum and we claw our way back 38.2%, which is a defined Fibonacci level, that comes right in here at 31.4. It is no coincidence that 31 matches exactly what this level is here for the stage 1 base resistance. Okay, so very clear to see here. And you ask me, what is gearing up here? A market that had fallen by 80% that cannot go to zero and is making all these distinct attempts, is what is setting up here is a break of the stage 1 base resistance. This is why I'm focused on this so much right now. I will tell you, when this break happens, which I expect to be within the first 2 quarters of 2020, when this break happens, you say, well, a surge like this may not be possible. Look at how quickly the GDX fell on the way down. From this level up here around 52 down to almost 20 within about 8 months. Absolutely something in the reverse could happen like this. This is what we should expect when we see a stage 1 base level like this that is finally broken. This is why I'm focused on this so much right now, and I'm not so focused on the other commodities, which I will be in the next year or two. You know, we absolutely will be doing that. But right now, and so you say, well, okay, yeah, that's interesting. We have that set up here, but, you know, there are a lot of people talking about that. Why should I listen to anything Christopher Aaron has to say? You know, who cares about that? I just want to remind you of one point, and you can go back and verify this in the archives of this channel. I started this channel right here in August of 2015. Go back into the archives, look at it. YouTube does not let you change any of the dates of the uploads or anything like that. You can't upload videos from a date that you didn't actually do it. This is when I started the channel, August of 2015. And so you can go and look at some of these other precious metals channels, and they may be talking about the same thing right now, but I want to ask you, what were some of those other channels talking about in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014? Were they saying, hey, now this is the bottom, this is the time to buy, this is the bottom, and then we still had years more of decline to go? Once again, please, if you don't believe me, go back and check out the archives of this channel. It's all there in black and white. So, was I completely 100% lucky? Did I have no idea what I was talking about and this just happened to work out? If you believe that, then you really shouldn't be here on this channel. Because I'll tell you, I do not have a crystal ball. I do not get 100% of things right. But there is a reason why I started the channel here and not back here. And that is because I do follow the technicals and they do work to a large degree of the time. So back to the present, we're focused on this right now because this is very important. I was speaking with a colleague yesterday, and we've been talking about this every 1 or 2 months here for the last number of years. And I was saying to him, this is the most confident that I've been since the 2015 bottom about what is about to happen here. This is the most confident that I've been that we have this move shaping up. You look at this stage 1 base. Let's zoom it in right now into that little shaded area. And this is how this is setting up. We've got clear support here between 25.5, just above 26. This black horizontal support, you can see that. Look at the number of times. Support, just above that, support, support, support. Buyers, buyers. Clearly buyers coming in here just below the 26 level and change, right? Notice what else has happened. Turquoise, downtrend. Notice the hits here, the hit here, the hit here. And so we were forming lower and lower and lower peaks until when? There's the break of the downtrend. You can see that in red. And we've found support. We're consolidating in a sideways manner. One more lower peak. And what has just happened now? We're starting to see the first hints that this consolidation is beginning to round upward. We've had 2 higher highs in a row, right? So this is how a market transitions from a downtrend and a consolidation to a trend break, as we can see, a sideways price action, and then the next rising trend gets ready to form. And this is what I think is setting up. I'm talking right now. I don't think you have a whole lot of time here. You may have, 2 to 4, perhaps 6 weeks before this thing really starts to round up here on the GDX. And bringing it back to the most important thing, we're talking about this rounding out happening here after 7 years of a stage 1 base. I'm focusing on this a lot for a reason. I'm just trying to emphasize that point, because when this break happens, I will not be producing videos saying, hey guys, the opportunity is still ahead. I will be producing videos saying, congratulations that we're capturing this move, buckle in, strap in, get ready for the ride. But look, if we're clawing our way into the upper 30s or the 40s on the GDX within a few months, I will not be saying, guys, it's a great time to buy. I will be saying, you better already have your positions because the move is underway. Okay, big move setting up here across the GDX in a highest probability assessment. There's absolutely no way that anyone will be able to predict the future with 100% certainty. But when we look at these very clear stage 1 base levels across the GDX, and for that matter, there is a similar move. It's going to be more dramatic across the GDXJ, but I will tell you what, even more so than these 2 large funds are going to be the moves that happen across the exact gold miners here. So that is what we're focusing on as well. You can find out about the exact gold miners that we're investing in, as well as all the buy and sell signals that we use in the premium member subscription. It's called Precious Metals Intelligence. If you're investing a significant sum of money, and for that matter, you've already seen, for example, one of our picks, Impact Silver, doing pretty well over the last couple weeks, I think there are actually companies that represent even better value than what Impact Silver was a few weeks ago, that are still just as undervalued, that are going to be the next ones to move. Those are the ones that we're looking at right now. So all that is coming. You also get access to premium members only videos just like this, but much more in depth. We cover gold, silver. We cover the US stock market. We cover the US dollar. We cover the bond market. We cover everything that impacts you as a precious metals investor, so you can be more informed. That is Precious Metals Intelligence. You can find more on the website. If you'd like to speak one-on-one, I just want to let you know I approach this from a completely independent standpoint. So what I'm able to do, there's nothing too big and nothing too small here. We have clients that range from across the precious metals spectrum. I have clients who have multi-million-dollar portfolios, and they're looking to move a portion or a significant portion of that into the precious metals, and we form a relationship. We sit down, we start with an initial 1-hour consultation. I simply charge for my time, so that way I do not have to sell you anything. I don't have to push you to buy X, Y, or Z stock. I don't have to push you to buy this or that gold or silver product. For that matter, I can tell you, if I think so, that you're overexposed. I have some people that come to me and the bulk of their net worth is in the precious metals. And I may say to them, look, I think you should actually have a slightly more conservative stance. I can't tell you 100% what to do. I can tell you, though, exactly what I would do in your situation. We have customers like that. We also have clients who are just beginning. So I don't want to tune you off to this. If this is the first time, or if you're just getting involved in the precious metal sector, we have clients who have never before bought a single ounce of gold, or they've never before bought a single stock in their entire lives. They have no idea, for example, the difference between buying an individual stock and looking at some of these funds, the SIL fund, the SIL-J, the GDX, the GDXJ. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone starts at some point. I myself started investing in this sector in 2007. I knew nothing about it. I never knew why anyone would invest in gold. I had no idea what the benefits were in gold. To me, it was like, who cares? What are these people talking about with gold? And what did I do? I just started to learn, just like everyone else, okay? So my point is, there is nothing too big and nothing too small here. If you want to speak to me one-on-one, please click on the consultations link below, and we set aside a time to talk, and then I can assist you as much as you possibly need to implement your strategy here from an independent standpoint in the precious metals markets. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to stay tuned to these free videos. I usually try to post them on Wednesdays. Sometimes it's Thursdays like today. It depends on how the schedule is going. And just coming back to looking at the GDX, which is representative of the entire sector, as I said, I'm not one of these people, coming back to some of those talks that we were having on the beach, I'm not one of these people that thinks that if you miss this move right now, that you've missed everything forever. I don't think that. I think there are going to be other opportunities that set up, but perhaps not in the precious metals sector for the next several years. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to look at other sectors next year if you do miss this move right now that's setting up in the precious metals. Okay? So I like to balance things. I think there's, really when we look at this, I think there are infinite opportunities in life and in these markets. And I'm especially thankful to be able to do this in this day and age where we have access to so much information at our fingertips. You do as well. And really the challenge is to try to filter out the good information from the bad. Trying to understand who are the people who are trying to sell you, let's say, recommendations for gold and silver miners, but read the fine prints. They are getting paid handsomely by a gold mining company to promote that gold mining company to you. That is not my business model here at all. As I said, fully independent. And so the challenge here, I believe, for individual investors, as we see the GDX getting ready to break that stage 1 base, looking super healthy, breaking that short-term downtrend. We're seeing higher highs print on the GDX. The challenge for you, how do you filter information? Are you going to rely only on quote-unquote free information? Because I challenge you to wonder, is that information really free? Or are you paying for that information somewhere else? In another form, it's just you're not being made aware of it. Think about things like that. Think about how you want to align for this next cycle that is setting up right in front of us. And I will see you soon.
So this is fun, watching him try to find the Frisbee. It's somewhere here in the surf. You're going to see this orange little Frisbee. I just threw it. Let's see if he can find it. He's on the hunt. This is going to be a hard one. Oh, it's all the way down there. Can you see it? It's a little orange thing. It's all the way down there, bud. Come on. Got to get to it quick. Where is it? Oh, it's all the way out there. Oh man, that's going to be hard. See it right out there. We're not going to lose this one, bud. Come on. Right here. Look. Look. Right there. Right here. Close. And all is good with the world again.